Hey tech enthusiasts, welcome back to the channel. Are you having nightmares about AI stealing your job? Because I am. Today, we're diving deep into a question that's been keeping me up at night. In a world where AI writes the code, what's our value as software engineers? Can AI truly replicate the vibe in vibe coding? The answer may surprise you. It's not just about logic, it's about emotion. Stick around, because this could be the most important conversation you have this year. I promise, by the end of this video, you'll have a completely new perspective on your role in the future of tech. Let's get started. So what is this vibe coding thing anyway? Well, after seeing AI write code, I realized that something was missing. I'm talking about human creativity, emotion, and storytelling. Think about it. Kanye West said it best. Got treasures in my mind, but couldn't open up my own vault. My childlike creativity, purity, and honesty is honestly being crowded by these grown thoughts. We need to reconnect with our less intellectual parts to bring that special sauce to software development. It's about injecting that human vibe into the code. But here's the kicker. Can AI really understand and replicate that vibe? I doubt it. This is where we, as humans, still hold the power. But the clock is ticking. Are we ready to embrace our inner artist? Let me know in the comments. Honestly, the rise of AI has been giving me killer migraines. Seriously, the left side weakness is back. I'm starting to think my body is trying to tell me something. Maybe I haven't been listening to my subconscious, and now I'm paying the price. I know it sounds crazy, but I blame AI, at least partly. It has me both enthralled and terrified. It's basically taken over the engineering part of my job. The question is, what happens when AI can churn out 8 or 8,000 fully formed apps a day? Will we even need human developers anymore? I tell myself we're still 3 years out from that point, but honestly, I'm not so sure. It's a scary thought. Are you feeling the pressure too? Tell me I'm not alone down there. Let's talk about ideas. The Oxford Dictionary defines them as a thought or suggestion as to a possible course of action, but I see them as something more. To me, ideas are floating dust motes riding the waves of our collective subconscious, drawn to those who've tuned their minds to the right frequencies. They're a kind of collective heritage mixed with our personal chaos. Call me crazy, but I believe ideas are graces that we prepare ourselves to harvest. Now, what has the average large language model AI prepared itself for? It may have a ghost of our collective subconscious, but can it truly create in the same way we do? That's the million-dollar question. I personally believe that the human element is still necessary to create the truly great products. Like many of you, I got into engineering because I loved rationality. Crafting with logic fed the autistic part of me. It was all about predictable outcomes. Emotion? That was something for therapy, maybe. But looking back, the software I've made that's really succeeded has always been when I've freestyled it, followed a muse, and been more creative. I named my company ZeroBS CRM on a whim, and it resonated with users who were tired of frilly software. But day-to-day code was my comfort zone, a world of pure logic. Now, AI models can fuzz around rough descriptions and fill in the gaps based on billions of past design choices. Where does that leave that human spark? I argue that logic can only take you so far. We're going to have to show up and do more than just think of solutions. We're going to have to be storytellers, magicians, and imaginative beyond previously assumed limitations. Great business people already do this. Those big brands that have survived multiple boom-bust cycles sell dreams and perceptions as much as they sell products. Software is going to have to step up its game. Your average SaaS still looks like a bootstrap skin version of accounting software from 1999. That's not going to cut it anymore. We need to inject soul into our software. What do you think? Is your current software soulful enough? Personally, I'm working on reconnecting with myself. That defense mechanism I've had since I was a kid, to control and live in rationality, has served me well, but it's now my biggest limitation. I need to recover my playfulness, my freedom to experiment, explore, and explode stuff. Maybe that'll help the migraines too. To all of you who've enjoyed software engineering for these sunny growth years, I implore you, lean into the creative. Let's make software as varied and opinionated as music or art. Let's use these rapidly evolving vibeware tools to create new things, not recycle old UIs. This is our chance to redefine what software can be. Are you ready to join me? If all this comes to pass, maybe it'll go like this. 2025, vibe coding actually one-shots every time. 2026, everyone and their nin makes verticalized apps. 2027, software becomes mostly vibeware or generated on the fly, and opinionated/story-led brands come out on top. The market falls out for everyone else. 2028, the final drop-off for the majority of undiversified software engineers. Or maybe it'll happen faster. It's a hard pill to swallow. I'd like to believe good ideas will be enough, but I think it's going to take heart, emotion, and stories. And even then, we're all going to have to find life after code. Are you prepared for this future? What's your plan B? I hope the path favors you, and somehow, in this muddled up time, we find ways to embrace the change and continue to make cool stuff. Writing this post helped my anxiety, so thanks for reading my path through this storm. Writing a newsletter, ProfitSwarm.ai, to share my story as I evolve with AI. By picking up writing, I hope to rejuvenate my storytelling skills and reconnect with my fuller self beyond that well-trodden logic code part. I've also started a nonprofit project to collect stories of software engineers who've moved on to new careers or lifestyles, lifeaftercode.com. I hope you will think about sharing your story there as well. Now, I want to ask you, the future of software won't just belong to coders, but to creators. What will you create when the logic is done for you? Let me know in the comments below. Also like the video, so I know what you'd like more of. See you next time. Speaking of vibes, let's switch gears and talk about another platform that's been having some major vibe shifts lately, TikTok. Remember that whole nearband fiasco? Morgan Sung from Close All Tabs painted a pretty wild picture of what happened. Imagine January 18th, 2025. TikTok gets banned 2 days before Trump's second inauguration. Chaos ensues. People flock to other platforms. But then, surprise, it's back online, thanking Trump. But here's the thing. Users say the vibe on the app feels different. Is it just shifting political winds? Or is it something more? Is TikTok becoming conservative? This brings me to my next question. What do you think about this turn of events? Is TikTok just doing what it needs to do to stay alive, or is something more sinister going on? Of course, the internet loves a good conspiracy theory, so questions are swirling. Did the algorithm change? Are progressives being censored? Was the whole ban an elaborate setup to move the app to the right? To get to the bottom of this, Morgan Sung talked to internet culture expert Taylor Lorenz, who's been reporting on the TikTok ban saga from the very beginning. And what did Taylor say? Well, she thinks it's mostly opportunism. TikTok is just trying to survive. She also notes that the algorithm is so complex that it's hard to say for sure if anything has fundamentally changed. Is it just a coincidence, or is there something more to this? How do you feel about this shift in TikTok's vibe? What do you think is going to happen next? But here's the bigger picture. Is all social media moving to the right? TikTok has a reputation as a bastion of leftist free speech, but a recent study found that during the election, TikTok was more likely to promote Republican-leaning content to Democrat-leaning users than the other way around. Is this just because conservative content makes better engagement bait? Taylor Lorenz points out that conservatives are excellent at leveraging algorithmic feeds and online attention. And there's no built-in support infrastructure for left-leaning content creators. It's a well-funded, well-oiled machine on the right, while the left is often censored and demonetized. That's something to think about. So what do you think? Do you think of your social media feeds as politically neutral? Or do you think that there's a shift happening? Taylor Lorenz has written about this in an essay called The Great Creator Reset, arguing that without TikTok, there is nowhere for leftist content creators. TikTok was really the last app that allowed for a progressive content creator ecosystem, like Twitter used to. Now, Twitter is owned by Elon Musk, who has openly stated that he's leveraging the platform to push right-wing messaging. So, why is TikTok being banned? According to Taylor and other good reporters, it's not about data privacy or China. It's about the speech on the app, specifically progressive speech. Suppressing progressive speech includes censoring pro-Palestinian content. Republican politicians have explicitly accused TikTok of suppressing pro-Palestinian content. This is a really big issue, and it's something that we all need to be paying attention to. What are your feelings about this suppression? So, what's the takeaway from all of this? Whether it's AI taking over software development or potential censorship on social media, it's clear that the world is changing rapidly. As software engineers, we need to embrace our creativity and emotional intelligence to stay relevant in a post-AI world. And as users of social media, we need to be aware of potential biases and censorship. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear. It's more important than ever to be informed and engaged. So what are your thoughts on all of this? Do you agree with my analysis? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more tech news and analysis. Thanks for watching.